Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Derek Martinez. Tensions have run high in the Hazleton community in recent weeks following executive orders by President Donald Trump calling for the removal of illegal immigrants across the country. In an interview on Monday, Hazleton Mayor Jeff Cassatt said much of the fear in the community is the result of misconceptions.
I really think a lot of this is more or less fear-mongering, amongst people, where they're trying to, divide the community in saying that they're coming in here and they're going to tear people apart. And if ICE comes in and they remove somebody, it's going to be somebody that deserves to be removed. They're only coming in here, to my knowledge, and looking for people that are serious, have committed serious crimes, are wanted for activity that's, we don't want in the city anyway, So, we welcome anyone that's coming in, any other outside agency that would come into this city and help us. If the state police come in and help us, if DEA comes in, if the FBI comes in, we want the safest city possible for its residents.
Mayor Cassatt also clarified that to his knowledge, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, has yet to visit the city of Hazleton.
We have not seen an actual arrest or raid in the city at this point. They have been cited in surrounding areas. We have been in contact with ICE, and they have inquired about several individuals that have been arrested in the past, but they have not been in the city. To my knowledge, they have not been in the city to make any arrests or this time.
For those with questions regarding the situation, Cassatt said the best way to receive accurate information is to ask local officials.
If anybody has any questions, they should come to the city hall, go to the police department, go to the fire department. In any situation, I would not take information that you find on Facebook or posters hanging on poles outside that we're here. But you should reach out to the people that might have the most knowledge in the situation. Everything is hearsay and rumors, and people like to take pictures off of one site and post it under ours. I saw a video this week. It was of Connecticut, and it was one of our local organizations that had that on there to make it give the appearance that ICE was in Hazleton doing all these things, and it wasn't. It was from another state, and it's just trying to, I think, incite people throughout the city.
For additional information regarding President Trump's executive orders and actions, you can visit whitehouse.gov. Additional details have been released regarding an SUV found floating in the Susquehanna River on Sunday. According to officials, emergency crews were first dispatched to the scene at Canal Park in Plymouth Township around 1 p.m. for reports of a vehicle in the river. Upon further investigation, it was discovered that the vehicle was unoccupied. Crews also determined from snow on the vehicle that the SUV had been in the water since Saturday. According to investigators, it was later discovered that the vehicle had been stolen from a residence on Carlisle Street in Wilkes-Barre. The investigation remains ongoing. Stay tuned on WYLN News for updates. Wilkes-Barre City Police are investigating a reported armed robbery. According to officials, the incident took place on Saturday, February 8th, around 8:30 a.m. at a business on Hazel Street. During the incident, police say a black male entered the business and approached the counter with a firearm visible. The suspect then reportedly ordered the victim to hand over the money from the cash register and several packs of cigarettes. Before fleeing the scene, police say the suspect physically assaulted the victim. The investigation into the incident remains ongoing. The suspect has not yet been identified. Coming up on WYLN News, crews respond to a house fire in Plymouth. Plus, Lehigh Valley Health Network honors the recipients of the 2024 Patients of the Year Award. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's only nationally ranked hospital. We turn setbacks into comebacks one movement at a time. Learn more at lvhn.org/ortho or 833-LV-ORTHO.
Hi, my name's Haley. I'm 4. And the weather tomorrow is going to be snowy.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Fire crews responded to a residential fire in Plymouth on Monday afternoon. According to officials, crews were dispatched to the scene in the unit block of East Shawnee Avenue around 3:15 p.m. Upon arriving at the scene, crews say the fire had spread to a neighboring home and heavy smoke was visible. Officials say no injuries were reported in the blaze, but both homes sustained heavy smoke damage. Crews from Plymouth, Larksville, Kingston, Hanover, and Edwardsville all responded to the scene. Lehigh Valley Health Network recently honored the recipients of the 2024 Patients of the Year Award. The Patient of the Year Award recognizes cardiac rehabilitation patients at the Health and Wellness Center in Hazleton that have shown great effort in achieving their cardiac goals and implementing lifestyle changes to improve their everyday life. The two patients recognized by the cardiac rehab staff this year were Judith Yurcho and Dr. Edward Polashensky. Yurcho said a big part of her cardiac rehab experience was the positive support from the staff.
The people that are there, I mean, even if you were having a bad day or you didn't feel right, were so great in motivating you, picking you up and say, this happens, we can, you can get through it. And it just, they pushed you a little bit, not to the point where, you felt like it was bad, but the point that you felt like, okay, I can actually do this. And like I said, they're wonderful there. They really are.
Jessica Polashensky received the award on her husband's behalf and spoke about how the program was beneficial to her husband.
It was very much incentive because you're with other people, and there was a social aspect to it as well because he got to come out. He was at home then, he retired and at home, and so being able to get out and come and do exercises, having that morning was helpful not just for the exercise but also for the social interaction. And people that were under the same kinds of rehab, they shared their stories with each other and helped each other.
Clinical exercise physiologist Corinne Stone said the two patients were chosen because of the example they set for the other patients.
Basically, those two patients, they were actually considered role models to other patients in the group. Like they really stepped in, kind of stepped up with the leaders of their class and encouraged patients to, be compliant with the program, to go through the program, make lifestyle modifications, which both of them have done, on their own. So they kind of passed their knowledge and their experiences to the other patients.
The Health and Wellness Center is located at 50 Moisey Drive in Hazleton. Anyone interested in the cardiac rehab program can call the Health and Wellness Center at 570-501-6953. Pennsylvania community colleges and the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education are partnering to make college more accessible and more affordable for Pennsylvania students. Under the new partnership, community college graduates at Luzerne County Community College, Lehigh Carbon Community College, and Northampton Community College will be guaranteed junior status at Commonwealth University, Kutztown University, and East Stroudsburg University. The partnership will also make more scholarship opportunities available for students to help reduce the cost of earning a college degree in Pennsylvania. For additional information regarding the initiative, you can contact the admissions office at any of the participating universities. Coming up on Sugarloaf's News Choice, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Northumberland, Part 2. Plus, we sit down with Fire Chief Bryce Dalrymple on this week's Firefighter Spotlight. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, and our trained sleep professionals are here to help you sleep like never before. With an extensive line of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we are sure to find you the right mattress at the right price. Free delivery and removal, interest-free financing for up to 60 months, and same or next day delivery on select models.
And don't forget, everyday low prices. Stop in to one of our 2 locations, Route 93 in Nescopec,
or downtown Hazleton,
and see why Northeast and Central Pennsylvania sleeps better with Grand Central.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, John D'Angelo's story is beautiful. 82, a lot of degeneration, not getting any better. He was so happy that Gentle Chiropractic helped him and Medicare paid for it. Tune in for a great show.
Cooking rice just isn't nice. Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Rice Robot, the 1, 2, 3 rice cooker. Watch, 1 add the white cup for rice, 2 add the blue cup for water, 3 click it and let Rice Robot perfectly cook it. The secret is Perfect Cook technology that surrounds the rice with controlled heat for even cooking. Then Rice Robot senses when it's done, auto stops and keeps it warm to serve. It won't burn, overcook or undercook, guaranteed. And rice is just the beginning. Make mac and cheese, frittatas, oatmeals, soups and stews, even ramen dishes. And with a ceramic, ultra non-stick interior, cleanup's a breeze.
Get the complete Rice Robot cooking system with the steamer tray and 1-2-3 recipe guide, all for just $39.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. We'll even ship your entire order free. Order now.
1-800-640-8545.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner. A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
was a time, around the turn of the 1800s, that Northumberland was considered as the site of Pennsylvania's capital, as many believed its location at the Susquehanna's confluence would be allowed to be a boom site for commerce. Despite the hard lobbying of many local residents for this, however, it would be Harrisburg that would be named Pennsylvania's capital in October 1812. Northumberland would prosper nonetheless as the 19th century began. The beginning of the canal craze that swept America in the early part of the century would be a particular boon for Northumberland. The North Branch Canal, which would ultimately run all the way up the Susquehanna's North Branch to the New York border, and the West Branch Canal, which ran just west of Lock Haven, met in the community, allowing the goods flowed down both canals access to the wider world. The canals would stay in big business in Northumberland for decades to come. The mules that pulled the boats in the canals would need a place to cross the river and switch canals after completing a journey. For this reason, a covered bridge was built across the Susquehanna in 1824. At the time, it was the only bridge crossing the Susquehanna north of Harrisburg. During the Civil War, locals, unnerved by the Army of Northern Virginia's invasion of Pennsylvania in the summer of 1863, packed the bridge with oil-soaked hay and trained cannons on it, ready to blow it up if Confederate forces approached. With the Southern Army's defeat at Gettysburg, however, this fear did not come to pass. Fire, though, would prove the bridge's undoing on June 3, 1823. A young boy walking over the bridge from Shamokin Dam noticed it was burning and quickly alerted the toll booth keeper on the Northumberland side. The toll booth keeper in turn alerted all of Northumberland's fire companies, but when they got there, they found the blaze too far out of control to contain. In less than an hour, the bridge completely burned down. It would be replaced with the current modern bridge spanning the river on July 1, 1926. The era of the canals would be quickly succeeded by that of the railroads, which had the benefit of a year-round operating schedule. Northumberland would be the western terminus of a main line of the Delaware-Lackawanna and Western Railroad. The Pennsylvania Railroad also went through the community. The original station for the latter was built in 1860. It would burn down and be replaced by a new brick station in 1908. That building is still in use today as the Front Street Station Restaurant. The Pennsylvania Railroad would, on August 6, 1911, move its railroad shop south from Sunbury to Northumberland. The Northumberland Classification Yard would feature almost 70 miles of track on close to 700 acres, as well as an impressive roundhouse. By the 1950s, some 1,500 trading cars moved through the yards for instructions or reclassification. Steam power would be increasingly phased out for diesel power in American railroads, and the Pennsylvania Railroad would be no exception. The last steam train pulled through Northumberland in October 1957. About a dozen steam locomotives would remain in the roundhouse for about decades afterwards for historic purposes. They would be donated to the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania in Strasburg, Lancaster County in 1968, where they remain today. The Northumberland Roundhouse was torn down in 1987. A unique structure would grace the Susquehanna River across from Northumberland for some time in the mid-19th century. Its architect was local eccentric John Mason, who was known to ice skate up the river to Williamsport in colder weather and carry an umbrella around on sunny days. Mason in 1839 would build atop Blue Hill, across from the community, a large observation tower, tilted at a strong 22-degree angle. 2 stories tall, the tower was secured into the rocks by heavy iron rods. It remained standing after Mason's death in 1849, affording anyone who dared to climb up it a wide view of the Susquehanna and surrounding areas. The tower's end came on April 22, 1864, when a band of local railroad workers, as a prank, pulled out its moorings. The entire tower crashed down the mountainside, landing wrecked on a log raft floating downstream. Later in the century, another Northumberland resident would make a wider impact in the world of illumination. Daniel McFarland Moore had been born in town in 1869. An electrical engineer, he began working for the United Edison Manufacturing Company in 1890. While there, he began work on creating illumination from glow discharges, which is achieved by sending an electrical charge between a low-density gas. "What's wrong with my light?" a disbelieving Thomas Edison would ask him, not wanting to see a challenge to the incandescent bulb he had perfected. "It's too small, too hot, and too red," Moore would respond, before leaving in 1894 to found the Moore Electric Company. By 1896, he perfected his Moore lamp, which sent the electrical discharge through either nitrogen or carbon dioxide that replaced oxygen in a glass tube. A hardware store in Newark, New Jersey would be the first to use a Moore lamp in 1904. It proved to be merely a modest success all in all. General Electric brought out Moore's company in 1912, with Moore taking a position in GE's research department. There he would develop the forerunner of today's neon lighting in the form of miniature neon lamps. For his efforts, he would be awarded the Franklin Institute's John Scott Medal. Daniel McFarland Moore would be murdered on the front lawn of his East Orange house in 1936 by an angry out-of-work inventor who had learned Moore had received a patent for an invention he himself had filed. More arrests today in Montclair, New Jersey's Rosedale Cemetery.
Express Care. Walk in and you walk into the region's most trusted health network.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
Welcome back to another Firefighter Spotlight. I'm joined with Fire Chief Bryce Dalrymple from Valley Regional Fire and Rescue. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Good.
Good.
And you know, you're on today to talk about recruiting volunteers.
Yes. So our community is very dependent on volunteer firefighters, even volunteer EMS at certain levels. Valley Regional Fire and Rescue is very lucky. We have a medic unit, so a Medic 26, which is a full-time organization. So we have that. But the firefighting piece of it, the volunteerism is starting to drop dramatically, not just in our community, but across the state of Pennsylvania, which has been very reliant on volunteers for many, many years, many decades actually. What we are trying to do as an organization, number one, is trying to be relevant in the community. We're trying to be forward, and by doing so, we commissioned a small little group of individuals from our department. We created a little community affairs group to help keep us out in front of the community, sponsor some events, create some buzz. And one of the neat things that we're trying to do is take advantage of the social media platforms. The younger generation, that seems to be the target spot to gather somebody's interest. And that group is creating what they call Between the Hydrants, which will spotlight not only just volunteers from our agency, but volunteers from other fire departments, almost like a little blog per se that we'll have out on Facebook to try to encourage people that you don't have to be somebody that really has that really drive. It's your neighbor, it's your your doctor, whoever that's a volunteer, just to try to put that exposure out there and try to grab some interest. We still did the very traditional events, open houses, the fire preventions, things along that line. But for us, having this community relations group or community affairs group within the department is really going to help push us forward, get us in front of the community, and try to promote the department in a different light, through introduction of who we are as individuals, as volunteers, not necessarily the department itself, right? And I think not just Valley Regional will benefit from that, but every volunteer fire company in our community, like Hazelton City, Hazel Township, Sugarloaf, all those folks will be affected by what we're trying to accomplish to just drum up some excitement into volunteerism again. One of the other things that we're going to try to do from an organizational perspective is try to incentivize firefighters on the volunteer side of things by not necessarily compensation, but through other things, free clothing, gifts, things along that line to promote activity and encourage involvement within the community. And again, you don't necessarily have to be a firefighter to be involved, right? We have an auxiliary group, we have a social platform there, which has a club room, which has many events throughout the year. So, I mean, if fighting fire is not your thing, there's other ways to be involved in the community, which we desperately need on all sides, from administrative to active firefighters to the social platform as well. So I encourage you to just look at Valley Regional Fire Rescue on Facebook. Again, there's going to be some really exciting things coming out today and the next few weeks. And as I said, if you have any interest, just reach out here to the studio. They'll have my contact information, and I can reach out to you. And if you have any questions about any other department, again, you can still reach out to me, and I'll get you in front of the fire chiefs or those individuals responsible for recruitment there, and we'll get you lined out with that.
And I saw for your volunteers, all the training and equipment is provided?
Everything is provided. Training is provided. We do in-house training twice a month. We also are very active in seeking training through Bucks County, Luzerne County, fire training centers, things along that line. So training is a must, right, to do what we do, to do it safely, and to keep the public safe. That's the number one thing. One of the other pieces that we're putting together here, and we'll be rolling this out probably in the next quarter or so, is we'll be hiring some part-time firefighter EMTs for the first time. Again, because volunteerism has dropped to that level, which is almost urgently needing to be corrected to provide a service to the community. So we will be doing that. And I know everybody's like counterproductive when you look at volunteers when you hire somebody, but I think it'll drive that buzz and that interest a little bit more, knowing that there may be a career path involved, not necessarily just a volunteer path. So there's some good opportunities coming up our way, and again, just keep an eye out, because there's good things coming.
So who all is eligible to volunteer?
Anybody. Junior firefighters can start at the age of 14 through 18, and then after the age of 18, you're considered just a regular firefighter. And those of you meet the training requirements to meet your probationary period, you'll be considered, an active firefighter.
Sounds good. I was wondering at all if you wanted to add anything about how you started in firefighting or what got you involved, maybe?
For me, it was a little bit of an interesting story. So to keep things quick, I actually had a beat-up car when I was in high school. I lived in a small town, community right outside of Newburgh, New York. And the volunteer fire department showed up at my house because my car was on fire in the driveway. So that piqued my interest. And then I actually was a career firefighter for a few years, and then had to change the directions and pass. Stayed in the fire industry, but just not as a career firefighter. So, and then for there, I just felt volunteering was a way I could give back to the community and continue on that path. So,
awesome.
Thank you.
So, I want to thank you for all you do in our community. Definitely. Definitely think about volunteering. We'll have some contact info on the screen here for you that you can reach out to Valley Regional. And that'll do it for another segment of Firefighter Spotlight. We'll see you next time.